magari anche
Okay.
rivederci. So
Okay.
good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for your participation at this first webinar that Oscar and me have organized within our Urban Policies initiative. I'm really glad to present this first opportunity of speech that is made by Purna. I will introduce her later on. But first of all, well, a couple of minutes to introduce the project, because we would like to share as much as we can the initiative with you. That you are, I think, the most important commitment for us is to gain researchers for different part of the world. So we would like to involve you as much as we can in our project. So Urban Policies, Oscar worked hard during the last month to create this kind of website where we can collect and gather all the information that we need. And actually, we reach a minimum requirement in the website to have a a homepage complete of all information that you can have for our works, and certain kind of parts of the website where we are trying to collect different informations about what we try to do, what are the projects that we are trying to follow, and the seminars, initiatives, and this kind of speech and whatever we would like to promote in this kind of website. So we are this is a free initiative, so we don't have any kind of commitment by university, public administrations, and so on. So I think that we can strengthen this kind of approach, which is quite free, and to try to maximize the possibility, to use the web to spread our initiative, our research, our networks, our whatever we would like to present. So in the website we have different parts. The first one is why urban policies. We try to answer to these questions within certain kind of points. But I think that the main issue is that we would like to explore this kind of urban complexity. Cities, contemporary cities, is quite different from the kind of city that we already have seen in the past, that we have studied during the previous years. During the last 20 or 30 years, cities have experienced a lot of transformations and modifications. So urban complexity is something which is quite broad as concept. So you are involved in in a different kind of backgrounds that a shift between different kind of, not only urban planners, I mean, but also architects, engineers, ecologists, and social economists, and so on. So we are quite interested in getting in touch within different backgrounds, because we would like to present the different perspectives that we have been learning the city from different countries. Today, for example, we will have this kind of specific experience from India. So India is a typical country where the things are happening in a fastest way, as much as we are living and experiencing here in Europe. Think about of urban growth, urban transformations. We are experiencing here in Europe a shrinking of the cities, while in different parts of the world urbanization is still growing up, and we think that at the planetary scale urbanization is one of the most important key issues to explore. So we would like to connect, to talk with you, to make online discussions and so on. We have many channels to do it. We have a webmail, we have the communication on GIS assessments, but also we have the curiosity by me, by Oscar, by Carlotta, and also all the other guys that would like to join these teams. So I encourage you to join us, to write us, and ask also if you would like that we take initiative using, for example, our YouTube channels or this kind of online seminars to talk about something that is particular from your point of view. So Oscar and me are collaborating from many years. It's since 2014 that we met, and we collaborate from many issues, mostly regarding the possibility here in Italy to stop the land take, which has been one of the most important environmental phenomena. So we deal a lot within these kind of issues during the last 10 years. And we are trying to make the possibles to take the zero net land take by 2015 as decided from the European Commission. So we have to work on that, both on the side of the academy and on the side of the policy making. I just shortly introduce you that we have a portfolio in our web page. So these are certain initiatives that we are applying for. Actually, we are doing the urban transformation in the world. So we have a speech today, but we have also not online, but remote GIS lessons that I do. Actually, I have not too much time to perform this at my maximum, but at least I am expected to also have your feedbacks in order to provide certain kind of specific issues to the kind of things that you would like to go in depth with. And we have also Lessico e Nuvole, which is a brand new initiative from Carlotta. This is an Italian initiative, but we would like also to get your attention on this kind of materials that we are collecting from different perspectives. In this case, the issue is the risk, climate change, and the vocabulary around these kind of issues, which has been shared from IPCC and other kind of intergovernmental platforms. So I go directly into the field of today. I'm really glad to present a speech by Purna Chandrala. She's from the University of Bonn. She's a student, master student in geoinformation and spatial development, but she get a bachelor degree in civil engineering in India. So she experienced also 2 years as a machine learning associate at Amazon. So she is quite introduced. No, she is from India, so she's quite skilled in and prepared into presenting something which is quite different from our perspective. So she's interested in affordable housing, sustainable development, urban development, resilience, and land markets. So I think that these issues are quite close to the things that we are going to explore also in the next appointment. She will have a presentation that includes the issue of timing during urban planning transformation. It's a kind singular that here in Italy we aren't able too much to take into account time. So the reversibility of land use planning during this kind of urban transformation, that where the people are growing, so the pressure are coming as fast as we are experiencing. This kind of reversibility is quite important. Also, if we think that we have seasonal assessment of land use in certain case, and so the possibility to grow and the growth is quite important. We will see what Purna will present us. So thank you very much again for your participation. I hope that you will be present also in the next, because we will do many other kinds of initiative. We are making a calendar for 2021. So I'm expecting that a lot of you would like to contribute to this kind of speech in the next presentations. So I ask to Oscar to shift the presenter and introduce Purna. Oscar. Okay. So Purna, I think you can now share your screen. Good. I can see your screen.
Yeah, I hope everyone can see this. Yeah, Oscar, this is visible, right?
Yeah, it's visible.
Stefano,
perfect.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, thank you, Stefano, for introducing me. Well, it's glad to be here to give this speech to you all today. And let me not waste any more time and just dive into the topic. Well, you all know about India, but you also know how structures are in India, like anywhere else, but I would like to show you how we have it. For suppose we have all these concrete structures, we mostly don't have wooden structures or something like that, but mostly ours is built with concrete and bricks and stuff. And here, if you see, there is a division of the main city and there are some slum areas. So this is the static city that we are talking about right now. And when it comes to kinetic city, it's totally different. The static city is what we see every day, the concrete buildings or anything that's built and it's not moving, the architecture or the places that exist on the city's master plan. Whereas in kinetic city, it's totally different. And that is what we are going to explore today with some case studies and talk about the ephemerality of this temporal urbanism, which can pave us way for the existing problems that are there in the world. Well, if you don't know how India looks, this is how India looks with a map. And yeah, so the first case study would be from northern state of India. It's in Uttar Pradesh. And this is the biggest case study that we are going to see now. And there are some other case studies which I'm going to present now. And this case study, it's about a festival. And let me get you a little into the background of this. So this is something like an exhibition that happens, but this is something religious. Indian people are really interested in doing a lot of religious things. So they organize religious festivals in the form of melas or exhibitions where they think that whatever, for suppose this is the place we're talking about, the place is called Kumbh Mela grounds. So this is in the northern state of Uttar Pradesh in a city called, it's near the city called Prayagraj. So here if you see, the difference between these two pictures is this is during Kumbh Mela and this is after Kumbh Mela. So if you can see this picture, there are settlements here. It's just like some regular normal town with roads and every other structures that are needed for us, for suppose electricity, water, and transportation. It's like any other formal city that we see in our daily lives. But if you see here, this entire structure, it's just there for 4 weeks or 5 weeks to the max. And after that, everything's disassembled and the riverbed will, return into its normal state. So this actually is the riverbed, and this is going to transform into this. And of for let's get inside and see what exactly is there. So this is the riverbed that I'm talking about, and the formal settlements are here. So let's see what's in there exactly. So in a city, what do you expect to have? Some housing, and there are hospitals, because you don't know what will happen to people at any point of time or if there is a medical emergency. And there is police station, which is necessary to control, some illegal activities not happening. And there are toilets, which are really needed for everyone. And again, toilets. Yeah, so if you see here there is all the facilities that you need for a regular city. And I said that this is in the river, so you might be like, okay, how do people go there? So this is how people go. So there is a wooden bridge that is built on this, strong material made of iron. If you see this, these are floatable, but these are anchored to, to the ground, and people go here from the other side of the river to this place which exists in, in the city called Prayagraj. So if we want to go into the key figures of what exactly or how I know I'm talking about. This is the festival which occurs in India. I mean, people celebrated it for every 3 years, and every 6 years, and every 12 years, and every 144 years of the first occurrence. This is really huge, and the planning goes before 1 year. That means if they want to build a structure in February now, because this festival occurs somewhere around in February to March, it's based on the astrology and the uh, position of Jupiter and other stuff. So they plan it before 1 year and they execute it after 1 year. And there are paramilitary groups, which are deployed there to control the crowd and everything. And there is electricity lines that are maintained. And there are 10 hospitals around this city which come together and they establish their hospitals over there with all the setup. It's just like any other formal city that we see. In fact, this is like a mega city, but it's a temporary temporal mega city. So last year, it's hoping 240 million people that have attended in a total. That means in a day, there easily attends 10 million people or 5 million people. So there are some days where people attend a lot because those are the main days where the festival, when the festival starts. So this place is something that you can never expect to happen. If you see here, everything here, whatever you can see here is going to be disassembled, and it's going to be turning into a riverbed in 1 or 2 months after this. And let's get into the second case study, which is another festival, how the temporal city in India exists in the form of a temporary structures and how people are dealing with that in their daily lives. So if you see this is during the festival of Ganesh Chaturthi, which falls in the September month in India, September or August, because it's based on the stars, and people will be celebrating it on only certain days. So if you see these buildings, this structure, it's just temporarily constructed. So it's like made with all wood or recycled material, and it's made into some kind of a real structure. But this is, if you see, it's in the middle of these two buildings. People go through this building every day. If you see this, there are a lot of cars and there are people going here, coming here, and there is transportation. Everything's halted because of this structure. But at the same time, these people, they get permission from the government encourages to do that, and at the same time they will also give a directive to these people that they have to keep signs for other people that they have to move in some other direction, because it is obviously an obstacle for people who always go through this route. You cannot just imagine to just stop that. And this happens for 7 to 14 days, and after that, the idol, the Indian Hindu people worship idols. So the idol, whatever is there, these are the kind of idols that are there here that are kept inside, and they are dissolved in the rivers, and people celebrate this. If you see that there are a lot of people who come here, and some people dissolve this after 4 days, and some people dissolve it after 15 days. So it depends on how people want to do, but everyone has their own community and own tribe and own caste in India, where they have their own structure like this built during this festival. The ephemerality or the temporary nature of this can be seen throughout the city. The reason why we talk about Indian festivals today is the buildings or the structures that exist, around the city might be in effect, might be the talk of people when you think about some city, but it's really religious things or cultural things that have been existing for long. Why India is being the talk of a lot of people. Oh, India has a lot of culture, but how are people managing these things? And if you see Kumbh Mela, the previous case study we talked about, the entire town is being planned, assembled, and disassembled in a span of 3 or 4 months. The planning is done before 1 year. Let's get into another case study where we see similar thing, but this is also another festival. And yeah, Indians, we are really high on festivals, so let's see this. So there is another festival called Durga Puja. So Durga Puja is like, another festival made in the memory of another god, where where it's a female goddess we celebrate. So female goddess because of whom we celebrate, and we have this temporary wooden structures and the bamboo sticks which are used to build the structures. So this is how they do it. And there are other, these are called pandals, and these pandals, they are built everywhere, the same way as how it is happening for the Ganesh festival. So if you see here, it's in the middle of two apartment buildings. It's right in the middle. You can see how it is inside. And this is where the goddess is kept inside, and people come there to pray and worship for those 7 days or 10 days, for how many ever days they're celebrating, which vary across the country. And then there, these structures are all the same, but they are made with all recyclable materials, all plastic or used rag clothes. You can see the rag clothes here in this structure where they're building. These are all unused recyclable materials. You can see this here. People construct this for a week before this, and they start celebrating they start celebrating it, and they love to do it. People go here, people don't feel that okay, fine, we don't want it this year. Nothing happens like that. Every year there is a festival, and they start making these pandals. These temporary structures are called pandals, and they happily dismantle everything, and they enjoy it, the process of doing all these things. So these are just 3 case studies that I've presented, but the big picture of ephemerality, these things, they occur from north to south and east to west. People everywhere, all over the India, do all these things. If we can talk a lot of ephemerality that we have to talk in India, that can be talked about this place. Everything vanishes in a period of 7 days. This can pave us a way for how we can handle other solutions in Europe, because they say that it's cities that grant the it is cities that grant the migrants the solution to stay, the temporary stay or permanent stay, whatever it is. The state might grant asylum, but it's the cities which have to provide shelter to them. Well, so concluding this, I would say all these things will obviously let us know how resilient these places are. If you consider the case of Kumbh Mela, where everything just vanishes in weeks and everything comes in weeks. And after this, in the monsoon season, the entire riverbed is underwater when it starts raining. This actually helps us to understand how well we can deal with the migration issues in, everywhere all around the world. And it can make us think about how we can not just think about cities as the permanent built structures that exist all over the world, but rather it's the temporary nature of the buildings. We have to think about how we can just make it happen as a solution, but at the same time, take it off and not cause any damage to the environment, where we can, doing all these things, we can achieve the sustainable goal number 11, which is building sustainable cities and communities, where we don't leave anyone behind, but keep helping everyone and do our best in creating a better world. So, well, these are all the references that I've taken, where the main topic of Kumbh Mela is from one of the Harvard professors' research, which is mapping the ephemeral megacity, Kumbh Mela. And I would like to conclude it. Thank you for giving the opportunity to present today.
Thank you very much, Purna. Thank you very much. It was quite interesting, your contributions, also the photos and the descriptions of everything. I have been, amazed by all these kind of things that you explained, and I have the possibility also to already talk with you within this fact that it's quite impressive if we take into account how different things are used to be managed in Europe. For example, we don't have such kind of big, big opportunity to have too much people in the same place. But in the last years, we have, for example, in Milano, I'm close. I'm living in Turin. We had the Expo 2014, and I would like to join, that you join us and see what the site is actually, which is it was an agricultural plain, and it has been filled by infrastructures and whatever to give the possibility to Milano to be part of the Expo 2014. But actually, even if the Expo is still finished, everything is inside, and we are not able to think how to reconvert all the functions that are linked within this kind of site, because we have accessibility, we have high-speed train inside, we have motorways, hard infrastructures, and so on. So it's a completely different perspective, the ones that we are experiencing. So I completely agree with you within the fact that this way of thinking, urban transformation, is more resilient than the ones that actually making here. So then the second point at the same time is that we have to take into account that also our culture here in Europe is that what we associate to the fact of the beauty, we see that a beautiful city, we are convinced that what is the beauty is something which is persist in the time. So the stones, the bricks, something which is fixed, and we are experiencing day by day, which is not translating, which is not which is not temporary. So we have to educate ourselves also to take into account that we have to be more resilient on that side. And also the constructions could be something that changed during the time. Also the infrastructures, that we can see, the bridge that you posed in the part of the rivers are everything is removable. So it's kind of, you know, impressive to see how much people you can host during a short time into these kind of fields. And also the places that are hosting these kind of temporary occasions are quite particular, because I see that there are certain kind of specific parts of the cities or in different part of natural sites, the ones of the rivers, for example. So I think we have to learn a lot from this case. And again, I think that you open up a window into something that we are not able to also to judge too much, because our experience is totally different, actually. So I'm quite surprised that you are studying at Bonn University, because I think that Bonn is quite different location, and also the culture of the university is totally different from your bachelor degree. So you will have a lot to...
Yeah. Actually, this place where everything's built, the Kumbh Mela city, everything's going to go back to the person who rented it, and also they recycle everything, because this can or cannot be used, and they will again reuse the same things also. Yeah.
And again, I think that there is a kind of economy also in this kind of transitional way of conceiving the city, because if you think that the buildings, the panels, everything could be changed, you can, you know, also improving the economy around this kind of constructions, even if it's temporary, you know, but it's a new economy that can emerge. So again, I think it's also the possibility that you can recycle the buildings and the materials. It's another issue that we can take into account. So it's a quite interesting experience. So I don't know if the people who are attending the seminar would like to or can also, I don't know, Oscar, possono intervenire? I don't know if you can, or if you want to make questions to Purna or to me, and we are able to answer you. Otherwise, we can close within the seminar.
No, nothing.
Nessuno. Okay. No questions. Okay, thank you, Oscar. No, I take just a few minutes to say that this kind of speech are short speech. So Purna has been quite scientific, because we asked her to be scientific, because we think that this kind of online webinar don't have too much long. We don't want to overlap within this kind of speech in the academy, which are long and reach of other kind of issues that actually we don't mention. We would like just to underline the fact that we come from different countries, and we would like to talk about our experience. I think Purna talk a more in depth within the kind of things that she knows, and so her experience has been highlighted during the presentation. So I would like to promote again this kind of webinar. We will talk from different perspectives in the next. I think that we will have a contribution from China. The next one will be on the eastern part of Europe. I think that certain attendants of the seminar of today are the next speakers of the next presentation. So thank you again for your participation. You are not too much, but I think that we can increase our number during the next seminars. And okay, see you later on. I think that Oscar, we will be able to put this communication into the Facebook page. We have a Facebook page, so you will have the possibility also to follow, not in streaming the presentation, not online, but during the next days, if you would like. So thank you again, Purna. Thank you very much for your interest and your efforts for this. And
thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity. Okay.
You're welcome. Ciao Purna, ciao Oscar, ciao tutti.